Marketers, it is not our job to tell sales exactly who is in market, and if you're trying to do it, you're probably kidding yourself. We do not have X-ray vision. Intent data that is sold to us, it is not magic. And until sales start cataloging properly, I'll get into what that means, both teams are really going to keep wasting their efforts. Welcome back to Mid-Week Musings, the short segment where we unpack one idea each week to help you build a smarter, more aligned B2B marketing team. Somewhere after predictable revenue, marketing took on a job that was never ours and shouldn't have been ours, predicting who's ready to buy. We started chasing signals. We started looking at website visits, downloads, intent scores, trying to prove that we were driving pipeline, but those are just surface ripples. We don't actually know who is in market because it's very difficult to know that without talking to people on a one-to-one basis. Now, here is the problem, and imagine you are selling a CRM. Marketing, as the market is for the CRM, you see a spike in, say, CRM comparison searches, or someone downloads top 10 CRMs guide, and we think that's awesome, fantastic, hot leads, send them over to sales. Sales then grab the account and they hammer them with meeting requests. They email them, they call them, they DM them on LinkedIn. But the truth is that company is probably just reviewing their tech stack for the next financial year, or the person downloading it might not even be in the right team. And that's where cataloging comes in, because that outbound message might not be landing at the right time. So cataloging is doing disciplined outbound. It's not to close, it's not to book meetings, but it is to map the market. So again, imagine you're selling a CRM. You'd want to know for your market, and this is what the catalog entails. You want to find out what CRM that person is using today currently, what they like about it, what they don't like about it, when is their contract up, who makes the call to make that change. That is real commercial intelligence that we really want to capture and log in our own database. Because when sales catalogs properly, marketing finally gets the feedback loop that we need to interpret signals the right way. And then it's not left up to us trying to guess who is coming into market and when. So what should you do instead? Well, signals are still helpful. Let's say that marketing spots, 20 companies reading content about CRM data migrations. That's a signal. It means that something is happening internally in that organization. And if you pass that information on to sales and they use that approach of cataloging instead, so having short, respectful conversations to find out what they're using, when they might be reviewing vendors, and what their pain points are, you might find out that only a handful of those are actually looking at switching this quarter, but a bunch of them are still locked in contracts, and their contracts aren't up for renewal for another 6 to 12 months. So log when that future timing is, and then you know that you can circle back at that right time. If sales had just pushed for that meeting in that initial conversation, they would never have captured that good commercial intelligence to come back and circle back at the right time when it actually makes sense to the buyer. So when sales skip this cataloging process, which is what they used to do, and they're just chasing meetings, the alignment between sales and marketing completely collapses. Marketing ends up just trying to chase leads and they get blamed for bad leads. Sales ends up burning through lists of people who were never ready to buy, and everyone forgets that old 95-5 rule. 95% of your market isn't buying right now. Marketing understands that, but sales need to do their outbound in a way that understands that too. Because unless you're selling Zoom during the pandemic, where just everyone needs that solution right now, there's going to be people who are ready to buy right now. They're in a buying cycle, or they won't be until the future. We have to respect their timing. That's just how it works. So as marketers, we need to stop pretending we know exactly who is in market and when. Instead, marketing should really interpret the signals that we have and not pretend to see into the future. If sales take that approaching of cataloging and seeing what's real, then they'll spend less time chasing ghosts, earning more permission to circle back at the right time, and they will make better use of the data that we pass on to sales. When both do their job, you don't really have a funnel anymore. You have much more of a circuit, which is what we have represented here. Where marketing pass signals onto sales, sales catalog information about every single account, that's then passed back to marketing, and sales circle back at the right time to hopefully a more educated prospect that is more ready to buy based on the timeline that they provided to sales. When both do their job, it's not a funnel anymore, it's a circuit. That's how you turn what would be currently wasted effort for a lot of companies into future pipeline. If your team is still guessing, it's time to start cataloging instead. That's what we talk a lot about in CRO School. We also have a free mini series on the topic. Check out the link below to it. Thanks for tuning in to Midweek Musings by the B2B Playbook. See you next time.